At 80, sitting alone with a cup of tea gone cold, you can still begin your whole life again on your own terms with your head held high. Before we begin, if you believe our later years can be strong, peaceful, and full of worth, subscribe to this channel. We are walking this road together. If you have ever sat with a cold cup of tea and wondered the same thing, stay with me. This is for you. Let me tell you about Margaret. On the morning of her 80th birthday, she sat at her kitchen table, both hands wrapped around a cup she had let go lukewarm. The house was quiet. The sun came through the window and warmed the wood. And Margaret sat there staring at nothing, asking herself a question so many of us have asked. Is the best part of my life already behind me? Maybe you know that feeling, that quiet little voice that says starting over is only for the young, that wanting more at our age is foolish, that a fresh chapter is something you missed. And now the book is nearly closed. I want you to hear me clearly. You are not silly for feeling that way. That doubt is real and it is honest. And almost every woman I have ever known has sat with it at some table, some morning, some birthday. So we are not going to pretend it away. We are going to sit with it gently. And then, piece by piece, we are going to take it apart. Here is the first truth. Starting fresh does not mean a grand new life overnight. It is not moving to Paris or reinventing everything you are. That picture is exactly what stops us. Because at 80, it sounds impossible. And so we do nothing at all. Real beginning is small. It is quiet. Listen. It is Margaret finally pushing the armchair to the other side of the room where the light is better, the way she always wanted it. It is sleeping right in the middle of the bed, arms stretched wide, the whole thing hers. It is a Tuesday morning walk in the sun, out the door with no reason but this. She can, and so she does. Do you see it? None of that is grand. All of it is a beginning, because starting again, most of the time, is just permission. The permission you finally give yourself. Your days still belong to you. You are allowed to shape them, rearrange them, fill them with what you love. Nobody has to sign off on that. Nobody. But permission is only the first door, because underneath it sits a deeper fear that even if you are allowed to begin, you have nothing left worth beginning with, that your worth itself has expired. And there is a woman who walked into a Wednesday painting class at 79 to prove otherwise. The Wednesday painting class, a woman of 79, hands shaking as she picked up the brush, certain she was far too old to be a beginner. She dabbed one clumsy stroke of blue onto that blank canvas, then another, and she went home that evening lighter than she had felt in years. That is the answer to the fear hiding underneath the permission. Your worth did not expire. Being a beginner at 80 is not embarrassing. It is brave. Think about that for a moment. Everyone in that room could have laughed at her shaking hands, and instead she was the bravest one there because she was the one who showed up unfinished and started anyway. The young start things because they have time. You start things because you have finally stopped asking permission. That is a different kind of courage entirely. So let me ask you the question I have been circling. What actually makes a woman walk tall at this age? Not her posture, not her pride, something quieter than that. Hold on to that question because I promise you an honest answer before we are done. But first, let me stop and talk to you, just you. Tell me in the comments, for how old are you and which of these truths did you need to hear today? I read them and it means more than you know. And if this is lifting you up, take a moment and subscribe so we keep walking together. Now, here is where I have to slow down and speak carefully with love. As you begin again, guard your peace. There are so many good people in this world, good friends, good neighbors, good men and women who will show up for you, asking nothing in return. Most people are kind, but you have lived long enough to know that not everyone who arrives at your door is there for you. So notice who comes and notice when. If someone appears in your life only when they need your money, only when they need a roof over their head, only when they need free care and a warm meal and a nurse who never sends a bill, that is not the fresh start you deserve. Your kindness is real. It is one of the best things about you, but your kindness is not a service anyone is owed. Hear me clearly. This is not bitterness. This is not suspicion of everyone who knocks, everyone. This is discernment, the plain, calm wisdom of a woman who has earned the right to be careful. You can love people and still lock your own front door with a clear conscience. And for anything to do with your money, your health, or the law, do not lean on the person who is asking. Lean on a trusted professional you chose yourself. That is how you protect the peace you are just beginning to reclaim. But there is one weight heavier than any user at the door. One thing that keeps a woman small long after everyone else has gone home. The regret she still carries. And that is the last thing standing between her and a true fresh start. You do not owe the past your future. Read that again slowly. The marriage that ended did not end you. The years you spent making yourself small, apologizing with your shoulders and your quiet voice, folding yourself into corners so no one would be bothered by your presence. Those years are over and you are allowed to leave them there. Regret is heavy, but you were never meant to carry it to the finish line like luggage you forgot to set down. So set it down right here today and let me take you back to that kitchen table, the one where a woman named Margaret sat on the morning she turned 80, holding a cup of tea, gone lukewarm, wondering if the best of her life had already come and gone. 1 year later, she is sitting at that same table. She is 81 now, and the cup in her hands is warm this time, steam still rising, the tea just made. Beside it, on a scrap of paper, is a little handwritten list, small plans, a book to return, a seed order for spring, a phone call to a friend she let drift for too long, and then a knock at the door. That very friend come for coffee, both of them laughing before the door is even fully open. Now, earlier, I asked you a quiet question and promised I would answer it. What makes a woman walk tall at this age? What is it really? Here it is. Walking with your head held high has nothing to do with pride. Nothing. It is not about looking down on anyone or proving a single thing to the world. It is about peace. It is knowing deep in your bones that your story is still being written, that the pen never left your hand, that whatever came before, the next page is blank and waiting in your hand is the one holding the pen. Margaret found that out. At that first birthday, she was so sure the best was behind her. She was wrong. The best was not behind her at all. It had barely begun. And the same is true for you. Hear me now, because I mean every word. You are not too late. The clock you keep watching is not the enemy you think it is. You are not finished. Not while there is tea to be made and a friend at the door and a spring you have not seen yet. And you are free, freer maybe than you have been in decades. Your joy did not expire. It is still yours to reclaim, sitting right there where you left it, waiting for you to pick it back up. If these words found you today, let this be your quiet promise to yourself that you will walk tall, not for anyone watching, for you, because you have lived enough life to have earned exactly that. So tomorrow morning, when the sun comes through the window and the kettle sings, sit down at your own table, make the cup warm this time, write your own little list, and know that the woman holding that pen is capable and worthy and far from done. You are not too late. You are not finished. You are free. Walk tall. You have earned it.